Good morning. It is 7:30 in the morning, the 10th of September. Right, interesting night at work. People have found out. I think people have found out I'm doing these blogs. Also, I've chatted to other guys, mainly Joe Kersey, about the blogs I've been doing, blogs he's been doing. So, I had a bit of a mick-taking session on me. Got broad shoulders, I can take it. So I decided to carry on. I want to try to get the autobiography part of it done as quickly as possible. I don't want to be waiting weeks on end doing them. So, we will carry on. Right, the first one I talked about was my childhood and school days. The second autobiography was about my working life. Third biography was about my religion, my religious life. Today we are going to tackle the big one, my life as a gay man. So, as I've said, I've always been gay. Not bi-curious, anything like that. I've always been gay. First question is, when did I realise I was gay? Must have been about 8, 9, 10 age range. And I think if you speak to most gay men, they will say around that age. I knew around that age I had different feelings from other lads around me. They wanted to play football and stuff like that. I was more interested sitting in a house, listening to people talk. Found it very fascinating when a group of men got together, especially with my dad being older, you know, they all shared same stories of the war and stuff. I used to sit there absolutely transfixed. The problem is, coming from basically a mining town, I wouldn't say it was actually homophobic, but homosexual intolerant. You've got the usual things, look at them pufters there, queer boys, bum boys, blah blah blah. Eventually I heard this word, homosexual. What's that? Had a quick sneak in the dictionary, found out what it meant. I thought, yeah, okay. That sounds a bit like me. Member of the library, school kid, went down, pretended to look at reference books. You know, for a school project, I was actually getting some more information. Eventually decided, yeah, I'm gay. Age of 10, I was 100% sure. So, where do we go from here? All because of what I heard and stuff like that, I knew sections of the population didn't like gay men. So I decided to keep it quiet. Like I says, went to comprehensive school, dated some girls, and I hid it quite well. Age of 10, I entered puberty quite young. The hormones rushing about. You can guess what I quickly found out. Some call it the sin of owning. Self-pleasuring, masturbation, whatever you want to call it. And no, I did wear the glasses before I started this, so not a result of self-abuse, if you like. Some people have touched on this, so I think it's important. My first time with somebody else. I says entered puberty quite young. My first time, about 12. Late 12. Before my 13th, but around that age. It's a bit nasty, but it was with an older guy. It happens. Things like that. Not going to go into much details, but basically, if you'd been caught, you would have gone down. So, at school, kept it quiet. As I entered my late teens, yes, I did meet people. Now and again, lucky enough to have a few meets. Nothing much. I was always frightened of being caught. Now, obviously, I talked about it. My father fell badly. Same as my religion, same as my work. My sex life, down the drain. Had to look after my dad. Obviously, couldn't go out. Couldn't go spending all night out. Because I had my father to look after. So it's simple as that. My father passed away 1988. May 1988. I would say 3-4 months after I met somebody. Must remember, this is the days before the internet. There were 3 ways you met people. If you went to a gay bar or something like that, it works up, there aren't any. No chance there. You had dating sites through papers. In other words, you picked up the phone, phoned. You know, something like 30-40 pence a minute. It'd take you 5 minutes to get to the actual adverts. You know, that's it. The other thing was the local papers had personnel columns in. Men looking for women, women looking for men, and there was men looking for men. So, kept looking at these adverts. Some of them made you wonder what sort of freaks were out there. Aye, Honey Bear wants to meet his mature baby bear, and horny and free and stuff like that. When I saw this advert, friendship wanted. Bit unusual that. No real details. It just said, older man, late 50s. Wanted to meet somebody for meals, theatre trips, and good time. And good conversation, I think it said. Good conversation. Quite open, he said he was a widower. And it did actually say a practicing Christian. Which was a bit shocked, because then I realised I wasn't the only one. So I took the plunge, picked up the phone, phoned this box number, left a message. Didn't really expect a phone call back. But got this phone call back. Okay. Introduced myself and we chatted. He introduced himself. His name was Eric. And we spent about half an hour on phone talking. Anyway, suggested we have a meet. Anyway, we agreed to meet somewhere public. I said, oh, well, what about this week? He says, oh, I'm going away this weekend. He says, I can't make it. I said, but I'll give you a phone when I get back. I said, fair enough. Anyway, I must admit, when he hung up, I thought, not going to hear back from him. A week later, on the Thursday, I think it was, got a phone call from him. Chatted a bit. Anyway, we sort of suggested meeting, and I said, well, do you want to meet for a drink? So I said, yeah. So we arranged to meet. There was a pub. It was a brilliant pub in Worksop called the Newcastle Arms. Served real ale, proper real ale. Always had guest beers in. Could end up, some weeks there may only be 2, other weeks there may be 10. Beautiful pub. So we agreed to meet there. So I described what I was wearing. Obviously, paper, no picture. Didn't know what each other looked like. He described how he looked, what he'd be wearing. I remember I was rushing down, a bit late. Must have been autumn time. Still warm. So, and it's still pretty light at night. So probably August time. Rushed down, waited outside the pub. He came down. Well, saw this person walk down, and I thought, oh, that's him. Salt, pepper, about 5'10". Not muscular, but not fat. Not skinny. Just an average bloke, but he looked nice. So he came down, stood there, looked at me, I looked at him. He looked at me, I looked at him, and, you know, are you Tony? Are you Eric? Yeah. Shook hands. Went in for a drink. He said, I can only have a Coke. I went, oh. He says, yeah. Actually, it was a bit late, so I've come down in car, parked it in the railway car park, which was literally just across the road. No problem. Thought, well, I can't start hammering the guest ales. I've got to be careful. So I had a half, he had a Coke. We chatted. There weren't many people in the pub when we first got there. So we had this drink, then we had another, but the pub began to fill up. So I can't remember if it was me or him suggested going outside and having a chat somewhere else. So went outside, all because this car was in the car park of the station. Outside the station, there's some benches, so we went and sat there, chatted. He did explain he was a widower. Explained he's got 2 kids. Come a bit onto that better. Explained his job. I said, well, I've just started a new job and stuff like that. So we chatted. We're nice. So nice. Suddenly thought, it's getting a bit dark. Looked at my watch. I said, bloody hell, it's 10:15. We've been sat there from about 8:30, just talking. Anyway, he said, I've got a car, I'll give you a lift home. I went, are you sure? He said, yeah. So, gave me a lift home, parked outside, sat in the car for a bit chatting. Anyway, remember I was dying for a pee to put out plainly. So I said, do you want to come in for a coffee? He looked at me, I said, no obligations, come in for a coffee. I said, it's just that I'm dying for a piss. So I came in, I went to the toilet, came down, made us a coffee. We sat talking. To put it plainly, he didn't leave. and it was the first time I've ever had anybody in the house all night. To put it plainly, we fought. And other things. In the morning we got up. I said, oh bloody hell, I'm really in for breakfast. I said, oh, well, I said, tell you what, there's butcher's down at the bottom, do you fancy cooked breakfast? I said, yeah, so went down to the shop. He gave me a lift down. I said, there's no need, you can stop here. I said, I'm probably a bit stupid of me, but yeah, you can stop here. He said, no, I'll give you a rundown. So I went down, and we had a cooked breakfast. We sat talking to probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He says, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go. I've got jobs to do at town, shopping to do, washing to do. And I said, yeah, same way. So he left. Promised to phone. It must have been half an hour, 3/4 an hour later. The phone went. He phoned. I said, when you said you were going to phone, I expected you phoning up tonight. Yeah. He phoned and we chatted. Anyway, next morning, Sunday morning, got up and went to church. Like I says, he put him down as a committed Christian. I found out he didn't attend my church, he attended another church. Told him what times our services are, and I think his services were roughly the same. Can't remember, to be honest. But what I didn't know is when I came home, I thought, sure, that's Eric's car. It was. He just called round, see if I was alright. He says, oh, I must admit, I did actually forget. Church service. I went, alright, come in for a coffee. Came in for a coffee. Stayed for dinner. Stayed for tea. And he stayed the night. Got up in the morning. He did actually ring into work. Don't feel very well. No, he was knackered. So, I did fall for him. We kept on seeing each other for 6-7 months. Be about Easter time. Just before Easter. Week or 2 weeks before Easter, 1990. I was invited down to his house. Come down to our house. He says, I'll pick you up from church. Come down, have dinner. Picked me up. Went to his house for dinner. Started preparing meal and stuff like that. When his daughter walked in, I said, got kids. Daughter walked in. Introduced to her. She basically threw her arms around me. She says, thank you very much. I went, what for? She says, this is best I've seen me dad in about 8 years. He's not been seeing anybody. He's lively, he's chatty, he's got a spring in his step. He's full of beans. A bit shocked. But then the son came in. He took one look at me and said, who's that? Anyway, his dad turned around and says, this is Tony, I'm seeing him. Son turned around and went, I told you I don't want to meet any of your people. I told you I'm not happy with it. You know, you were married to my mum. He did turn around and say, listen, I was faithful to your mum. I've never played on your mum, but this is my life. This is who I am. It's how I was when I was married to your mum, when she was alive. But I denied it for the sake of the family. Well, basically, he'd been pressurised by his family into the marriage. The son wasn't happy. Basically, turned around to his father and went, well, if you've seen him, I think there's no need for me to come round. his father turned around and said, well, you're going to have to get used to it. Because I've really fallen for Tony, and I think he's fallen for me. And if it carries on like this, we will be moving in together. My face went, His daughter's face went, hee. His son's face went bright red, and he stormed out. It did actually look like his daughter was going to burst into laughing. Anyway, the daughter said, I'll have words with him. Says, Dad, you've got your life. I've got my husband, I've got kids. He's got his wife, he's got kids. Come round once a week, once a fortnight. Why should you just be happy? So she left. I played hell with him. Not very nice to do that to your kids. In some respects, not very nice to do it to me. You've dropped it on me. Not very happy about it. Dinner was a bit strained, but in the end I forgave him. I think it was a mixture of the beer and the bottle of wine we had with dinner and probably the brandies afterwards, but yeah. So we carried on seeing each other up till about September. In his job, he was a troubleshooter, financial troubleshooter for a bank. So he had to go here, there and everywhere. One day he was out. He'd been suffering with a bit of a chest. He completely feels a bit tight across his chest and his shoulders and stuff like that. I've been telling him for about 2 weeks, you've got to go and see the doctor. Just have it checked out. It might be just a bit of a chest infection. Go and get it checked. Big concern, obviously, with my dad. What my dad has suffered. He, I forget where he was working. I think it was Newark, or it could have been Nottingham, or somewhere out there. Phoned me up to say, is it alright if I come round tonight? I went, yeah, fine. He says, he said, actually, I feel a bit off it. I says, listen, if you get home, don't feel like it, just give us a ring. Let me know you're not coming. That's it. I says, if you're coming round, I'll get meal ready. I says, do you work? No, I'm taking a couple. I says, get wrapped up, get on settee, we'll see if we can sweat it out, yeah. If it's no better on Monday, you go into the doctors. I will make the appointment, you go into the doctors. Anyway, about 2 or 3 hours later, heard nothing. So I picked up the phone and phoned. Didn't hear anything. He's badly. He's gone to bed. He's forgotten to phone me. I'm going to phone him again tonight. I'll leave it till the morning. Phoned in the morning. Still couldn't get an answer. About 3, 4 hours later, I got a phone call from his daughter. Very shocked because I didn't realise she had my number. Turned out she hadn't. She'd gone down to her dad's house to tell me there'd been a serious car accident. Basically, the police found his car in a ditch early hours of the morning. We had to wait for the coroner's report. Not exactly sure how they do it, but something from the electrolytes in the blood and stuff like that, they discovered it had a major heart attack. Said the chances are he could have had one before. Basically had the heart attack, the car swerved into the ditch, and that was it. did say by the looks of the trauma and stuff like that, that when the car hit and been slumped over the steering wheel, they did say the chances are he would have been dead before the car even crashed. Attended the funeral. Actually, daughter asked me to help out at the funeral. Attended the funeral. Me and the daughter was alright. The son didn't want to know me. Wouldn't even check me hand. Went up to him, you know, sorry for your condolences. Want to pass on my condolences, you know. And he basically just blanked me, walked away. So, end of 1990, buried Eric. Excuse me, just got to take a minute. Sorry about that. I'm fine now. Just needed to take a couple of minutes. So, funeral had happened. Stuff like that. I was asked to go to the will, read him. Didn't expect anything to be left to me, and frankly there wasn't. But his daughter went, ER. Give me this envelope. Says, your dad won't want you moping around the house. Get off on holiday. Well, here's some money. Get off on holiday. Open this envelope with about £1,000 in, something like that. So, I didn't go that year. Probably late spring, early summer the following year. I tidied drawers out and found this envelope. What's in this envelope? This money. Totally forgot about it. So, I looked around, found a bed and breakfast. It was in... What was it? Skeggy? I think, again, it was Skegness. Bed and breakfast. Not a 5-star place, you know. It was clean. The meals, breakfast was fine. No evening meals. You had to provide your own evening meals. So yeah, I went on holiday. For the evening meals, found a nice pub. Did all sorts of meals, from like chicken in basket to lasagnas to pastas to salads, whatever. So, found this nice pub. Bit naive, I didn't realise what sort of pub it was. The first night, went in, had a meal, sat there talking to the barman. I don't know what he wanted. I said, what? Not many couples in here. You know, nice pub like this, you don't seem to be many couples. And he looked at me and went, you know what sort of pub this is, don't you? I went, no, not really. He says, it's a gay pub. I went, oh, okay. He says, yeah. He says, I'm sorry about that. He says, I thought you realised. I went, why are you being sorry? He says, well, it's a gay pub. And I went, and? Well, for gay men. And I went, yes. And he went, you're one. I went, yes. He says, oh, that's fine then. I went, yes. Beautiful pub, beautiful meals. So, stayed there that night. A few pints, went back to the hotel. Following night, I went into there, had a meal. I said, beautiful meals. Just trying to think the name of the pub. Can't remember it. The only reason I went there is because it was just literally round the corner. Bed and breakfast was there, went to road, went like that, it was just literally round the corner. Beautiful meals, decent beer as well. In there, it weren't exactly busy that night. I think there were only about half a dozen of us in, so we were all sat around the bar chatting. Couple went, oh, well, we're going to go off and whatever. The gentleman came in, sat, not next to me, but next door down. Anyway, me and the barman are chatting, he's chatting. He says, oh yeah, Michael, long time. He says, yeah. So, chatting. So, basically just started chatting to this bloke. Looked in a bit of pain. So the barman would say, what have you been up to? He says, oh, then he pulled me back at work. He says, lifting them bloody sacks up. Don't know what sacks, but sacks up. Anyway, reached into his pocket, pulled out his wallet to pay for a drink, dropped it, bent down. He let out an almighty scream. Bloody hellfire, shit! So I told him, you alright? He went, the bloody bag's gone. Oh, God. Anyway, he managed to straighten himself up, got off the stool, picked up his wallet, gave it to him. Anyway, he says, oh, I'm going to go home. Anyway, barman says, you can't walk home like that. He says, I'll get you a taxi. He says, no. He says, I only live about 10 minutes away. As you know, I'm going to walk. Anyway, he started hobbling to the door. Now I'm watching him. The barman's watching him. We looked at each other. I says, there's no way he's going to make it home on his own. He says, no, it's not. I says, I'll make sure he gets home for you. He says, oh, cheers. When you're in tomorrow, I'll get you a pint. So I walked him home. His house, there were about 3 foot steps. He struggled with them steps. So, helped him. Put my arm around him, he put his arm on my shoulder. Not that sort of arm around him, to help him up the steps. Opened his door, made sure he was in alright. I said to him, have you got any tablets? He says, yeah, I think I've got some in there. So, got me a drink, tablet, sat down talking to him. He's trying to take off his shoes. I can't get his shoes off. I took his shoes off for him. We're chatting there. That's where I came from and stuff like that. Told him. Anyway, he went, really need to tackle the stairs to go to bed. I went, you're going upstairs? He says, yeah. I said, well, I'll give you a hand. Gave him a hand upstairs. Made sure he got into his bedroom alright. He laid on the bed and he's trying to reach over. So I said, what? He says, well, I don't know if it was deep heat or Ralgex, one of them type of things. So I'm going to try to rub some on my back. Couldn't reach it. Right. I'll give you a hand. So I pulled his shirt up, rubbing it in. And I found it put plenty of very arousing. He turned over and he was aroused. I ended up spending half an hour extra than I should have done. So eventually I left. It got one of them normal latch doors, so I made sure all lights were switched out, left. Went back to the hotel. Next morning, came out, thought, I'll just nip around and see if he's alright. I knew he hadn't got any milk in. I knew he hadn't got much milk in, so I picked a pint of milk up, went round. Totally surprised to see me, invited me in. Walking a lot better, and stuff like that. And we sat down and chatted. He apologised for the night before. I said, no, it's alright, fun. He apologised for spoiling me fun at the bar. I said, no, it's alright. Trust me, there's no way you would have been able to get home on your own. Talking to him, I did explain about Eric. And he apologised. I went, yeah. I says, actually, there's nothing to apologise for. He says, well, obviously you're still a bit grieving. But I says, yeah. I says, but you won't want it. I says, and I've done it for so long. I says, I haven't been with anybody for about 8 months, 9 months. I went, oh. I says, yeah. I says, I realised I can enjoy my time with somebody else. So yeah, I don't think we ended up having sex or anything again. But we did go out for a drink and a laugh. So I came home. I thought, that's it. I've got to get on with my life. So over the next few years I did meet other people and stuff like that. In 2000, as explained, got the computer, got the internet. No more looking in papers, it was there on the computer. I think one day I put like dating in, came up all these websites. What happens if I put gay dating in? Came up these websites. Thought, what if I put mature gay dating? Mature gay, came up all these sites. Two of my favourite sites are what they call Silver Daddies, and also a website called CAFMOS. That's CAFFMOS. Stands for Care and Friendship for Men Over 60. Older men and their admirers. I said, got a dog, so for 9 years, cramped the style a bit, but not much. Still had meets. People still came here. She passed away, and in 2011 I started attending the CAFMOS gatherings. What they do is a weekend in Blackpool, weekend in Bournemouth. Started attending the Blackpool one. Basically because of the distance. It's fun. And I don't mean fun in that way. It's great. The hotel is reserved specifically for our use. Nobody else is allowed to book into it. So it's there for our use. First off, the hotel is called the Queen's. Quite an apt name for a hotel full of gay men, but it's called the Queen's. If you want it to happen, it can happen. If you just want to go and spend the weekend chatting to friends, that's all you do. No pressure, anything. If somebody approaches you, you think, oh yeah, then yes, happens. But approaches you and go, no, and nothing happens. It's a fun weekend. First year I was there, very nervous. Made some good friends that first year. Basically it took me a bit under the wing because it's the first time I attended something like that. We spent all days. I mean, they'd only met me for half an hour and they said, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, well, I'm not sure. Well, you are now because you're coming to the pleasure beach with us. Spent all day at the pleasure beach. For them who don't know, pleasure beach is a great big amusement park, great big rides. Stuff like that. So I started attending there. Obviously, as I think I said it in the works video about coming out at work, and this is how through this it came out. So basically that's where I am at the moment. I did say in one of the earlier videos about don't know what would do if I really felt for somebody. And that's because of the situation with Eric. I did fall for him, and when he passed away, it did. I don't know if I could go through that again. To be honest, I don't know. Right. Like I says, you sort of gather, I prefer older guys. It's one of them things, it's attraction. Salt and pepper hair, the grey hair. The, how can I put it? Just the look of them, the sound of them, the way they act. Don't get me wrong, I've been with guys my age and younger. And the way I usually describe it is, when I was younger, I would met a couple of guys my age. I'm talking about 23, 24, 25. They were more interested in the end than the journey. An older guy is just as interested in the journey as the end. Sometimes there's a journey and there isn't an end. Trust me, some of those have been the most fun I've ever had. Trying to be very subtle here. So, yeah, I do prefer older guys. Let's talk. It's got to be discussed when you talk about gay sex. Homophobia. I have not had any really what you can call overt homophobia. I'm talking about violence, threats, whatever. Had the name calling, stuff like that. I've got a broad back, I can take it. In the workplace, yeah, people joke, people laugh, and stuff like that. I take it. Some people would say some of the comments could be classed as homophobic. I know they're only joking, stuff like that. There are days though, you go in, you're tired, or you've had a bad day at home, or you're not very well, where sometimes the jokes can be a bit irritating. You know, it's a case of fuck off, will you? Start to get. Other days I'm mischievous. I do turn it round on people and I do make them squirm. It's like the comments about Blackpool with the flying handbag and Mardi Gras, 2 gay pubs. I did actually turn it around to go, oh, you seem to know a bit more. Well, but no, you seem to know a lot about them. Is there something you want to particularly come out with? Do you, come out, join the gang, He squirmed. One of the older guys, when one of the younger guys bent over in front of me, oh, be very careful there, Tony will be up, yeah. I went, no, actually, no, he's too young. I prefer the more mature guy. And as I'm doing it, I've got my hand on his shoulder, sort of massage. I prefer the older guy. You know what they say? Many a good tune is played on old film. He didn't speak for me to 2 days. When I asked him what the problem was, he says, I didn't appreciate that. I didn't find it funny. I went, yeah, but you were doing it to him. Well, yeah. So my attitude is, if you can't take it, don't dish it out. And he did actually admit he was probably a bit wrong. So yeah, homophobia. Not really seen it. The really violent homophobia. Sometimes the comments can be a bit cutting, but it's one of them things. I haven't mentioned church and stuff like that. People have got, oh, Tony attending church. Oh, no. I'll be blatantly honest. There are priests that do abuse. Abuse boys, girls, whatever. Be it Roman Catholic, Protestant, I bet if you looked Baptist, but whatever. Never seen it myself. Never happened to myself. Never heard of it happening in any of the churches I've attended. So anybody who's expecting me to say, oh yes, so and so, no. Never seen it, never had it done to me, never heard about it done to anybody else. So, sorry. Anybody that's thinking I'm going to bring that up, no. Does happen? No, it happens. Look at the papers, look on the internet, you can see it happen. Well, not see it happen, but read the newspaper reports and stuff like that. So basically that's my life as a gay man. The moment I'm single, enjoying life. I'm not an angel. No, when I was younger, found my dad's stash of porno mags. Helped to relieve quite a few hours. More ways than one. So yeah. So I don't know what else to say. Life says I would love to find the other person, but I think I'm frightened what happened with Eric. Michael, I met on holiday, was such a lovely guy that did bring me back to the real world. That made me realise it is part of me, it's part of my life, and because somebody passes away doesn't mean it has to stop. Started in the old days where there was no internet, just paper and a phone. And now work with things like this. Camera, computer, the internet. The only thing I could say to anybody younger saying this, watching this, is the three things. Three things. First off, know exactly who you are. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. If you prefer this type of guy, this guy. Don't feel pressurised into marrying, whatever. Second thing, most important thing, play safe. People think about AIDS, condoms, AIDS. There's other diseases out there, syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes. Always check, always play safe. Third thing is quite simple. Enjoy your life. Enjoy it. Sex can be enjoyed. You can laugh. It's not serious. You can laugh. I've been in situations that it started off quite serious. Something's happened. We've ended up laughing. Sex has gone out the window. We've just ended up sat there, state of undress, talking. But we've laughed and joked. Some of them have been the best meets. So enjoy yourselves. Can't really say anything else. Let me get a laugh. I'm not going to go into basic details. Oh yeah, I did this with this position. It's got no. In some respects, it's got nothing to do with anybody else. That's my life. All I wanted to say is, I'm a gay man. I'm not an angel. And I have met one person that I fell for, and now it frightens me. In case I ever meet that other person. So, thanks very much. And next time, maybe a two-part thing on interests and hobbies. Because one, I know I'll be doing on wine making and beer making, and I know that's going to be long, so I might split them in two. Thanks very much for listening. Speak again soon.